how you guys doing today? Welcome to the Adventures of Malibu and Dad. We're at the Old City Cemetery here in Lynchburg, and this is our adventure for today. A lot of history here, lots of things I want to show you, so let's get started and take a look around. So this is the entrance to the main gardener's place. But they have a lot of cool things I just want to show you before we get started outside. Part of the big history with cemeteries, and one this old, is, there is a history to them. These are some of the garments they wore back in the late, 1800s, 1750s. So when you were in mourning back then, you stayed in mourning, you wore black. There's one of the old caskets. And back in those days, you could get a casket with a see-through window.
Do you know the stories behind those things?
So this is some of the stuff you can get. And they have a bookstore here. They take guests. They take people who can come by and buy roses. They have a great rose collection. So it's more than just a cemetery of the dead. It's a cemetery of the living. And they have some of the most beautiful roses you've ever seen. And I'll take you out there to take a look at some of that. I want to show you some of the history. And that's what they do here. It's history on funerals and things like that. This is an autopsy kit back in the day. And some urns. And then those are some of the things that they have here. So I want to take you outside now. Let you take a look. This is the oldest cemetery, probably in Virginia, as far as being a public cemetery. And they've got a lot of guests today because they are selling roses. This is where they sell the roses. Caretakers out there taking care of the roses. Then they also have a Civil War site, which, as you know, I love history and Civil War stuff, so I'll take you over to that site. This is really a particularly cool site here. And this house here has been on the property. It's actually belonged to a doctor. It's called the Pest House Medical Museum. It's a white frame building. It was a medical office for Dr. John J. Terrell. And he worked on, diseases and things during the Civil War to help people heal and mend. And part of what he does was study different diseases. And it's kind of a tribute to him. They've kind of done this kind of nicely. But if you can see the flowers, how beautiful it is here. It's more than just a cemetery. It's somewhere with some very beautiful, beautiful roses and scenery. So it looks like we're in the woods. Actually, we're just out in the outskirts of Lynchburg. Or actually right in Lynchburg, but just to the outer edge of the big part of the city. And this place is so famous that they have two of George Washington's nieces buried here, believe it or not. Kind of walking you over to the old section. Cemeteries have been around as part of life. It's also part of history. And that's what I love about it, is the history here is so vast. When you have the people that you have here at the cemetery. It goes up this cobblestone road all the way to the top. So part of the cemetery here is dedicated to the soldiers and the Confederate dead, and this is the entryway. It's beautiful, tree lined. The overhead here I wanted you to read. Take you inside. A lot of these soldiers that are here are from the Civil War. There's over 2,200 soldiers here buried from the Civil War. So every one of those markers you see is a veteran who died during the war at the hospital recovering from the war. And it's just rows and rows. A lot of soldiers that have passed. Next side. They're getting ready to do the Memorial Day flags on the graves. So I saw them putting those out, getting them ready. And they get visitors from all over. I wanted to share this part of it with you. Let you see a little bit historical. Parts of the cemetery. Lebanon, Mississippi, 117th. So those soldiers from all over. It's not just from Virginia. There's some Georgia soldiers here, Alabama, South Carolina. I mean, they're just here. And what a beautiful resting place this is. On this beautiful wall. The gardens here are just gorgeous. Yeah, that's one thing about the Civil War. There's just so many that were lost, so many lives that we'll never know where they went to, where they would have went to if they'd have survived, what children they would have had. Some were fathers, but this is the reality of war sometimes. Here's the rows and rows of dead soldiers from all over. Well, we've moved past that conflict, and hopefully we've gotten smarter from it. Here's one of Private William C. Newman, Private Company A, 58th Virginia Infantry, Confederate States Army, 1839 to 1862. So part of Old City Cemetery, it's more beautiful flowers. There's a small chapel they have here. Very cute. And then they have the little caretaker's house. Chapel is just beautiful. It's an 1880s Irish chapel. So they do events here also. It's called the Comfort House now. But they do events here also. You can get married here, you can have parties here, you can do just about everything as long as you get permission. And a really nice section that they have here is they actually do have a site for people that have no money, and they'll actually do a service. They have areas here to put remains and ashes, which I think that's really neat. And they even have a swing here. Malibu loves a swing. So we're at the entranceway of the old cemetery. And I did find the grave of George Washington's niece. She's back here. This is her plot here. This is Eleanor Curtis Lewis Carter, and she was the wife of Henry Brown Jr. and wife of John H. Patterson, MD, and a great niece of George Washington. And she loved roses, so they added roses to her gravesite. Those are the beautiful roses you see there. It's a beautiful old cemetery. Look at these headstones. Man, that's an old one. Anyway, this is an older section. You guys take a look at that. It's just beautiful here. A lot of history. There's a whole lot of studying probably here to do to find even more history, but it's probably just easy to pull it up. You gotta spend a little more time, but that's what I love about the old cemeteries. So much history and who's here. You don't really see them like this anymore either. Look at the size of this wall around this plot. This is the Lawson Morgan family. They got the beautiful roses in there also. Well, I want to thank you for joining us on another adventure here, looking at George Washington's niece's burial site and the old cemetery here in Lynchburg, Florida. I'm Lynchburg, Virginia. Pardon me. You know, get out. This is something that, you know, I discovered visiting my daughter up here in Lynchburg. And then I just was so intrigued that they do the flowers and the roses and how beautiful it is here, and just getting out and doing adventures, you know, just like anybody can do. It's free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything to come out here. You know, just your time and getting a little bit of gas money, which is a lot nowadays. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for sharing the day with me. Thank you for watching my vlogs and me in Malibu's, and you know, thank you for all that you do. God bless you guys. Until the next adventure, you guys have a great day. Give us that thumbs up and get some more subscribers for me. Tell your friends about me and my channel, and I really appreciate you. God bless. Bye bye.